Hi. Today I happened to go to a government office after a very, very long time. I had to process some papers for my mother, and as per rule, that every time an individual ages and they go beyond a certain age of 85 and 95, you have to keep giving a certificate that the person exists. So I went to do that. I did my usual formalities and fearing traffic, I landed up at the office, which was near the exhibition grounds here in Hyderabad, which is a very, very crowded place. So I knew for a fact that I'd have problems getting parking. So I went early, and in my mind, early is 9 o'clock, but somehow I felt that nobody's going to come before 9:30, 10 anyway. So I gave it another extra half an hour, and I landed up there at 10:30. With great difficulty, I found place to park. I mean, it's ridiculous how people just park wherever they like. Anyway, that's another story altogether. So I found the place. I walked up the steps and I went to this office, only to find it completely empty. There was not a soul in that department. Not a soul. I'm even wondering how on earth was it open in the first place with the lights and fans on. 10:30, quarter to 11, and there's not a single person who has reported for duty. Government. Anyway, this document was very important. It was verification that my mother is still alive, so I had to sit. On one hand, I was worried that car doesn't get towed off, even though I tried to park it as far away from the main road as possible, but you never know out here. So anyway, I waited and waited, and one lady walked in at about 5 to 11. And she asked me, I said good morning to her, and she said good morning, and she said, who are you waiting for? So I said, I'm waiting for this particular lady who I had spoken to over the phone yesterday. I have to submit these documents. So she said, I'm afraid that lady is going to come late. In my mind, I said, oh geez man, now what am I going to do? Now I waited for a couple of minutes, and then I said, okay, let me try. So I took my papers, went across to this lady who was just across the counter, and I said, I don't know if you can help me, but my task is very simple. I just have to submit these documents. They've all been verified by the bank and notarized by the bank. I just have to submit it because the pension has to come in, the family pension. So she took the papers. She was from a very different department, in what they call as the accounts section. And she went through it. She checked on the computer and she said, yes, this was due actually in March. You've come at least 3 or 4 months later. I said, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize and I never got any message. She says, no, as a rule, this is what happens. I said, thank you so much for letting me know. So can you help me? So she said, yes, I'll do that. And she went through the whole thing and she keyed in the details. She put the rubber stamp, signed it, tore out the last page and gave it to me as an acknowledgement. So I looked at her and I said, thank you so much. I said, what next? He says, no, you will get a verification call where we will have a video call to verify that your mother is still alive. I said, that's perfectly fine, no problem. We'll go by the process. So I asked her by when. She said, most probably by this evening you will get a call on your phone. I said, is that it? She said, yes, that's it. I said, thank you so much. You have pleasantly surprised me. And then what do? I pulled out this little candy or toffee from my pocket and I gave it to her. For a minute she was stunned. She just looked like that. I said, this is for you. With my appreciation and gratitude. Thank you so much. She was smiling from here to here and she said, oh, that's perfectly fine. I'm so happy to help you. Don't worry, it'll all get sorted out. And I just said, thank you very much. You have a lovely day. And I moved out from there. I was there precisely for 10 minutes with this lady. What I'm trying to say here is this. Not taking anyone for granted just because they work in a government setup, number one. Number two, approaching them with humility and gratitude, along with having a little patience that they will help you out one way or the other. No guarantees that they'll really help you out. There are lots of them who don't, but there are lots of them who do. And talking to them politely, being patient with them, going along with what they say as per the process. And at the end, nice warm smile with a thank you does wonders. And this is not the first time that I've done this. As a principal, I carry candies with me. And these are not just to, give it to little children. No. I give these to adults also. Whether they eat it or not is a different story. But I give this as a gesture of my appreciation and gratitude. Straight from here. And guess what? They really appreciate it. In fact, they are so surprised that someone can do this for them. It's very little, a small little, I don't know how much it's worth now. I think it's 20 paisa or 50 paisa or whatever, but that's not the point. The point is that they appreciated it. And it does a great deal to relationship building. Whether you meet them after a year or whether you meet them much later, but they remember you for this gesture, and that's what important. So just rewind your little memory tape and think, when was the last time you appreciated someone lower than you? Lower than you. We always appreciate people above us because, you know what I mean, we're trying to get something done. But someone lower than you, in terms of education, in terms of work, in terms of whatever it may be, but they're doing a job. And when they do something for you and they help you out, are you appreciative? Even if it is as much as a parking attendant who's directing your car or bike, or a guard who opens the door for you. Do you smile and say thank you? Rewind that tape of yours and think, when was the last time you did it and how often do you do it? You'll know for yourself where you stand as an individual, as a person. There's room for improvement. Try it. Have a lovely day.